As you all know, EVERGLOW recently came back with their mini album Return of the Girl. Unfortunately, EVERGLOW 100% missed the point in terms of concept, and I'm here to fix that. Put your sea legs on, I'm redesigning the entirety of EVERGLOW's pirate. When I first read the title Pirate, I imagined shining coins, sword fights, and pirate ships. Therefore, we need to decide on a color palette for this kind of comeback. I want a few sea blues and a dark black to mimic a stormy ocean. Next, to complement these choices, I'm adding gold and brown tones that remind me of weathered treasure. Here's what we're working with. It's darker and grittier than the original colors of the music video, with some standout highlight shades. Taking into account the palette, I started work on the concept photo. I cut out the girls and greatly reduced the saturation and red filters of the original. Then, I overlaid EVERGLOW over a dark image of waves crashing onto rocks. Gothic medieval letters replaced the Return of the Girl font, and I placed a skull and crossbones on top to lean even more into the pirate concept. The third section I felt needed a change was the album design. Scrapping the long and simplistic rectangular formatting, I changed it into squares with a block coloring outline. As a placeholder, I set photos of yiren into the center to give a general idea of how the styling would look. There's going to be two versions, a treasure version and a siren version. I added some extra details in the background and completed the basic redesign concept. Something else I thought would be very interesting to have inside the album would be a message in a bottle keychain. When you take the message inside out, it's actually a map drawn by one of the members with their signature in the corner. It would be a fun little personal touch for the fans and might make them more intrigued about buying the album. 'Cause I'm a pirate, a pirate, a pirate, Still thinking of the original palette I made, we're going to use iconography of Azure stormy seas, pirate ships, and gold doubloons for the sets. I'd love to see the girls charting out a course inside the pirate ship with wooden beams and steering wheels, as well as out on the nighttime open ocean. Here are the small details, close-up shots if you will. Don't worry, they'll make much more sense when I explain the plotline of the music video. They're small scenes that won't feature the girls' faces and will focus on the general pirate aesthetics. Next is our music video styling. I'm going to start with the hair. I want windswept dark hair, possibly blue or black. I think Mia would look particularly good in this white and black streaked style. I'd like to see a well-done hime cut on one of the members as well. For the makeup, I want to play with stick-on pearls, gems, and glittering gold powders around the eyes. It will highlight the treasure aspect I mentioned earlier. And for the other colors, we're sticking to shimmery blue, white, and black. Some hints of turquoise can also work. Now my absolute favorite part. In the first set of outfits, we are sticking to a generally unsaturated collection of clothing. I want to see a lot of white blouses and creative corsetry, as well as rugged boots with gold accented overlay. This costuming is not historically accurate, but the layered sashes pay homage to how belts were impractical on ships. In the second set of outfits, we are doing a complete 180 in terms of coloring. I want deep blues in contrast amongst black clothing. Of course, I'm keeping the gold accents, but I'm also adding seashells, pearls, and other underwater materials. I also like the idea of layering these types of black corsets over fancy dresses. Now I'm going to discuss exactly why I included the music video details section and why I have a second set of outfits. I've created a simplistic storyline for the music video that will hopefully tie in everything I've mentioned in the previous points. We begin with EVERGLOW charting a course for lost treasure across the waves inside their ship, with more emphasis on brown and golden tones. We can add quills, the interior of their ship, and mapping shots to this. I would say the scenery takes up around half of the music video. As EVERGLOW proceeds to sail on, the sky is quickly darkening with storms. The girls continue their journey even as waves lap against their ship perilously. This should be where the main rap parts kick in, and we have many scenes of the girls' hair in the wind. We also changed to the second music video outfit sets. There's a notable shift to the blue aspect of the color palette, but there are still visible gold elements. Around the bridge, we have a few shots of massive tentacles slowly rising from the waves, and the girls prepare to fight it off. At Mia's part near this area, we can put her in mermaid or sea monster inspired costuming and have her float around in the waves. At the last chorus, the girls are losing to the giant sea monster and their ship sinks. We have a few shots of the members sinking under the waves elegantly, and the music comes to a halt. At the very end, there are seagulls squawking in the background as one of the members, Aisha maybe, staggers to her feet on a beach. There's no one else in sight, and the beach sand seems almost gray. She looks worse for wear, but we see a determined look in her eyes as she glances towards the sea, then back at the camera. The video cuts to black with the EVERGLOW logo on top of it. Alright, that was my entire reimagining of EVERGLOW's Pirate. A quick shout out to Mingy's Fixon, who somehow guessed I was doing this video while I was scripting it. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you for visiting the restaurant at the end of the universe. Adios.
I'ma say goodbye, bye, bye.